evening, everybody. To some of you for the second time this evening, welcome to Wizards Outlook. Joined as always, we got Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarpe Jr., and again, it's Wizards Outlook. As for the Wizards this evening, they did not fare that well. They came off the big win / meltdown, Brooklyn, depending on whoever you want to look at it. Either way, big win against Brooklyn. And then tonight, the same things we've been talking about all season, kind of rear their ugly head. Late in the fourth, despite going down in a hole early, I think they had it cut to as little as 7, and then 3 consecutive possessions of bad defense. And next thing you know, it was out of reach again. I know we all saw Dame with the little Dame time moment late in the game, a couple back-to-back possessions, drove baseline for the dunk, and then had the young boy out on an island, and, Dame provided a nice little dagger to, end this evening's festivities. Cardell, we'll start with you. Just your thoughts on tonight's game.
Same thing we've been talking about earlier. The Wizards' horrible defense. Like you said, they got it down to actually a 4-point deficit at the 4-5 mark. Denny made the 27-foot 3-pointer from Bill. The next thing you know, Poland responded, 3 from Gary Trent, dunk from Dane, free throws from Covington, step back 3 from Dane, and that was it. So reserves going to get you some minutes and stuff. That was it. It's the same thing. Just looking at Portland's team, they're not the best defensive, but they hold for stretches during the game where they hold you down or whatnot. The problem is they are one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league and one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league. So even if they get down, they can come back. And if they have a lead, they can hold it because they don't miss free throws at all. I think they're number one in the free throw percentage at 82%. They went 23 for 23 today. And that was what, looking at the preview, studying them, watching film, that's what worried me because when you're bad defensively, it's not just the shots you're giving up, you put people on the free throw line to get easy buckets. So when you have that, you can't come back. I don't care if you have an explosion, whatever. You can't. It's hard to beat that team without getting stops, period. They had 6 players in double figures. And let's be frank, they picked on Bertans. They picked on the guys on the Wizards that they know don't have the athleticism and can't play defense. And the reason why Bertans has been off pretty much for the majority of the season, his legs are gone. They're forcing him to play defense. That's what you do with shooters. You take their legs. And he has no other way to score and make an impact. He's getting cooked defensively, so you hope he can get going to make 3-pointers, and he don't. You know what I'm saying? He shot 2 for 10, literally 2 for 10 from 3, which was his field goal, and got 8 up. So what you paying him for, he's not giving you. So you take him out the game, puts more pressure on Westbrook and Bill to thrive. Rui got his rhythm back tonight. You can see 24 points, legs getting back, 10 to 12 shooting. Big block in the fourth, hustling back at the Dame. But the thing is it's not just him. Why can't you do that throughout the game? Why I gotta be desperation time for you to try to fight and stuff? I just don't get it. Denny had a good game, and Garrison, as you see, he's getting more and more into the rotation. He's roughing guys' minutes because he plays hard and he defends. They didn't do anything with Gary Trent Jr. and Rob Covington. They shot lights out from deep. They were so concerned with Dame, and that's what happens when you're a bad defensive team. You get so focused on the stars, you forget about the other complementary players that can burn you just as bad. I mean, he's shooting above 40%. Then Robert Covington shot lights out too. Melo came off the bench, and like I said, doing the focus show, having Bertans on Melo at any age is disrespectful. I don't care what age he is. So he went to work on him, and he got in the rhythm with Bertans going on. Then he did what he had to do. It just comes back to the Wizards defense, and it will. That's been the main reason why they've lost. There's nothing else to really even try to bring up. I don't care what they do offensively. I don't care if Russ got his legs back. Until they learn how to get stops, man, it's going to keep being a barrage of L's, and there's no getting around that. I don't understand. I'm really just dumbfounded at this point why, other than we know they don't have the best athletes on the perimeter in the paint, why they can't get more stops. because they seem to get them when they come back for some reason, and then it just fall apart. So they're capable. It's just I mean, at this point, man, it doesn't even make sense to get frustrated anymore. They are who they are, and it is what it is, man.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with Cardell, man. I'm not about to let them drive my blood pressure up. I'm gonna let the dudes that get paid to worry about that, and I'm gonna just objectively talk about it. I mean, it's their defense, plain and simple. Portland scored 132 points. They made 21 threes. They only had 19 assists as a team. So it's not like they executing and whipping the ball around and just getting guys looks. I mean, dudes are just getting clean looks because the Wizards not playing defense. Like I really don't understand it. Like, they played for one stretch early in the fourth quarter. They kind of locked down and was able to claw back into the game, but the other 36 minutes of the game or what have you is non-existent. Like you're not gonna win that way, plain and simple, man. Like it's just I know we kind of beating the dead drum here, but if they don't want us to talk about it, then they should fix it. So that is what it is. And regarding Bertans, man, Chris Miller asked, when they was doing their post game, is he giving you enough offensively to risk leaving him out there as a defensive liability? And the answer to that is obviously no, because he's not giving you anything offensively. So I mean, they between the rock and the hard place with him. They gave him that money, but look, man, if I wouldn't play him. I mean, it's a waste at this point.
Bro, 32% from three this year. I don't want to hear about the legs no more. 32. Look. Even when you have COVID, you can't practice. Let's be real. What's stopping your ass from getting outside and running? Keeping your legs strong, dog. Do something. So I don't even want to hear that. Keeping your wind up so your legs can be ready to go. You're a pro. You got the new bag. And just my bad, Ryan. Go ahead, dog. 32%.
You good, man. You good. But yeah, I would really cut my losses, man. Like, what's the purpose? What is the purpose? And then you got a guy that Garrison Matthews will be getting all his minutes if I'm Sean Brooks.
For sure.
Like, honestly, if you want the minutes back, you gotta earn them. Plain and simple, man. Like that's ridiculous. Like he's literally giving them nothing. Like absolutely nothing. So yeah, man, that's got to be a frustrating situation for them. But again, they getting a nice check to figure that out. So go ahead and get in the lab and see what you can do with that. But on Portland side, of course, Dame did what he did. Melo went to work. He had a bounce back game, and they just let Gary Trent Jr. and Robert Covington have a day. Those guys are very capable shooters, and I guess with them already, the Wizards already not being very stout defensively, they put all their energy into the usual suspects that the other guys just got off scot-free, and it hurt them. But yeah, man, I don't understand how this is happening with a professional basketball team. Like it's terrible. Like I understand, if you're losing games because the talent isn't there. Because I mean, you need talent to win the league, but the effort is terrible. The IQ is terrible. Like it's no excuse for it. So yeah, man, they just gotta get it together. Dennis Smith Jr. asked to play in the G League. Maybe some of them need to ask to play in the G League. Just I don't know. Maybe it's too overwhelming for them up here. But
with no fans.
I don't know, man. They look bad. They look real bad, and it's not going to turn around until they commit on the defensive end, and that's just is what it is. They got lucky the other night, but at the end of the day, they still gave up 147 points. So, yeah, man, and they gave up 70 in the first half tonight. So, if it keeps going on like that, then the loss is just going to keep piling up. I mean, it's plain and simple.
And Bill gonna pull a hard one. I can't even be mad at him. I'll be like, hey, dog. I ain't even gonna get on you.
Ray, let's add 5 to that 70 you said. Folks gave up 75.
Half, nigga. God damn.
I know 70 was enough, but I'm gonna pull Octavia from earlier. Let me put 5 on that real quick.
Boy.
75. They started the game. Portland started the game with a 40 piece in the first quarter. Now Washington responded with a 40 piece in the second quarter, but Portland only scored 5 less than Washington in the second quarter. But again, they set the tone with the 40 piece. And get this, all this scoring and this craziness in this game. Y'all want to know how many lead changes there were? I'm going to give y'all each a guess. Go ahead.
0.
There was one whole lead change, one whole tie. Again, to triple down on this lack of defense thing. Like you guys have been saying, we've been saying all year, it's really annoying that you have to wait until your back is against the wall or you feel like there's actually a consequence coming your way to provide some effort on the defensive end. Like, it's ridiculous. How about just try? And the worst part is, like we've been saying again, it's not like y'all playing with a plethora of talent to where like, man, we didn't score or whatever, we'll get it back on the other end. Man, nobody got them type of scores over there. You need to play defense. Like, you have to. Like, even with what you have, love Brad. No, there's levels to all this scoring stuff. And this is what happens when you don't do anything on the other side of the ball. It's ridiculous. That's what the Bertans think. I got tired of typing his name, while watching it during the live tweet. I'm like, it was like 5 straight possessions. And again, if this was somebody else making whatever he's making, you can insert their name. I feel the same way talking about you because I don't get it. And it's horrible when, again, you're just a specialist and you're the one that's like this. But being a specialist comes with, like, it makes it even worse because you can't, with you not being able to do anything else. Again, like what it's even easier in my eyes to you guys, to many other folks. Let me just go sit down over there for a little while, and we'll focus on people who can do other stuff. Might not be able to shoot like you, but all the other stuff they can do is better than what you provide. Especially if you shooting about what Mo Wagner's shooting from 3, you might as well just keep Mo Wagner. Might as well have your minutes. At least he might get in the way, take a charge here, block a shot, something. But again, when the thing that you do cannot be done consistently, and it's only one thing that you do, well, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And the worst part is, even if you want to move them, whatever value you had, it's gone. Whatever value might have initially been, it's gone. This is horrible. And then we're also in an era where people don't play defense.
Yeah. And you can't get a bucket.
This ain't it. And you had a couple of chances late in the game to redeem yourself. Like, and again, if somebody else misses a 3 or misses a shot, it's not as bad because they might go get a stop. They might get a block. They might get the hockey assist for another bucket somewhere. But for you, you're living and dying. It's literally your contract is predicated what you're doing with them, with those with every shot that you take to a degree. It sucks, but this is the way that it is. You hear, man? You got to pay that bread, man. You got to do something. But it's bad where every team's like, Portland spent like 3 minutes of the fourth quarter just looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not offense or anything, just looking for you. Russ was trying to do his best to hold on and try to switch and heads, and it was like, all right, well, if 2 is on me, Dame swung it wide open 3. And also, Gary Trent Jr., within the last couple of years, he can shoot. Why are folks walking away from Gary Trent Jr.? I didn't get that all night. And then late, you just watch Dame. Then Dame gets several one-on-one opportunities. The baseline dunk was to me more offensive than the dagger a little bit later. How many times we see Dame go baseline and dunk?
Since the young days.
Like, that was way more offensive. And he had no concerns in his heart about anybody doing anything to obstruct his trip to the rim. Tomorrow night you got to deal with Bam and company. And with his front line, I hope you're ready for that. Bam's been on one all year. And then real quick before we get out here, congrats to Carmelo for passing Dominique on the all-time scoring list. Melo's up to 13 now. So congrats to him. But yeah, man, like you guys been saying, there's no need to keep being the dead horses. you're not good enough to not play defense. Just
Raymond right. I'm looking at Garrison Matthews. He's shooting 40% since he started playing on the season. 88% from the free throw line. Man, you know he can strap. He's actually one of their best defenders. He would definitely get all those minutes. It's not even a hesitation. I wouldn't even have Bertans on the reserve on the board. Like I don't even know. If somebody get hurt, I might look at you. I might ask Robert Pack to come in. I don't know, though. Like I'm done with him, because this is what I was trying to tell people. Y'all remember we were in the studio before COVID hit, and we reading tweets and people like, "Yo, Bertans, the best shooter in the league," and Bertans, man, oh man, the Wizards can't let him go, man. He one of the best players. And we looking at everybody in the league knows the lost season. They're not paying attention to him yet, but they paid attention when he got that bread. See, that's different when you get the bread. See, now dudes that put in work, like, yo, he got that bread. I can't even get that bread. We're going to see when we play. Mm-hmm. And they're taking it and they going at him. Now they like, a specialist got paid more than me and I do more things than him. You see what I'm saying? And you specialize in shooting. Raymond, I'll let you address your lady, because look, you can get teams to play better, but this particular team, I have no answer for. I'm sorry. I've been trying to figure it out, because you're not about to have me out here. I'm not. Look, man, I'm not God, dog. I can't work miracles, dog. Like I'm trying, man. I'm trying, dog.
Not miracles, though.
Blessings, whatever you want to say. Grace.
It's loaded. That's a loaded question with this one, because they not even trying or looking like they interested. So you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do.
Bro, do you understand? The coaches, I know it ain't the league, but the coaches I played for all the way up through college, if we play defense like this, I would literally be scared to go to practice the next day. I know it's going to be life-threatening. It won't be life-threatening, dog. I'll be in class it's like, and I had a couple of those practices. It's like you F up in school and you know your mother like, I'm going to call your father when you get out of school. He going to whoop your ass, right? And all day at school, it's that same type of feeling. Because you know it's coming, there ain't nothing you can do, dog. You just depressed, man. I mean, come on, dog. Like it just come down to this, man. It come down to what's in your chest, dog. Basically. Like y'all ain't about to keep doing all that. We just saw a heavyweight matchup at the same time. Nets in Brooklyn, all world, everything scores. They strapping and making tough shots, going at like it's no excuse. They getting defensive plays, ripping each other, blocking people's shots, and all the hitting. They going at it. Y'all letting dudes, bro. Y'all letting dudes about to get career money off this.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
And this was on CJ. This is what makes it more CJ out. Like, y'all got it, man. I'm good.
Yeah. This was literally a night in which we watched James Harden play more defense than the Washington Wizards.
Yes, he got to stop.
And this is not even me being funny. This just to let you know the level of where we're at that we're speaking. We saw someone who actively has made it. It's almost like he took a vow of silence. He took a vow to not play defense since whenever he got to Houston. It's been a vow, and he's held from the moment OKC traded him.
He's been abstinent from defense for 8 years.
Abstinent, though.
Yes. And then we watched tonight, like Cardell said, in a heavyweight matchup. All them points Brooklyn been putting up. It was a normal score tonight. It wasn't 152 to 150. Brooklyn shot 50-something. They held the other team under 50-something. Obviously not the greatest thing in the world, but for somebody like the Clippers, how they been acting, it's kind of a big deal. And they got folks like that look at defense like, yeah. And they're even worse because their record against teams over 500 it's a good record. So theirs is legitimately a choice, and they have the type of firepower which they shouldn't even care when they walk out the house. You do not have these things. What is wrong? What is wrong?
Listen to me.
How do you
moving forward, bro? Let's stop calling players all-around players that don't play defense. Defense is a skill. Yep. I'm tired of it. There may be all-around scorers or all-around offensive players, but they're not all-around players because you got to do it on both ends.
This
All
ain't
these
football.
trainers out here, you see clips and stuff. You rarely see them doing defensive slides working on it. I saw an interview with Ron Artest. He said the first thing he did when he was playing with his workouts, 45 minutes on defensive slides, closeouts, going rotation drills, doing all that. The first 45 minutes every workout before he even touch a ball. That's why he was NBA Defensive Player of the Year, always on the NBA defensive team, and guys hated dealing with him. Like the same work you put in to get your shot and handle and everything tight, being able to pass and all that, same work you got to apply to defense, man. Studying film, knowing your personnel and stuff like that. It's just the same thing. It's like, I noticed Joe Harris ain't get open the same way he was getting open against the Wizards tonight.
No, but you want to know what else I noticed about Joe Harris? Unlike the guy here that we talking about, they were allowed to leave him on the floor because he wasn't giving his man wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't the liability. Like they was going after Kai more than they was going after him. But again, like that's the difference. Like even with Garrison Matthews, you know, not to get too long-winded because we're gonna see you guys tomorrow night. I think one of the most impressive things I took from him this game, I think it was in the fourth quarter when making a little run. He had a corner three, pump fake, attacked the closeout, dribbled down baseline, shoveled the pass to Rui. Bro, give him his minutes.
Yeah.
Give him his minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's a small thing, but that's huge. Because if you're classified as just a shooter, then the other thing, like you said, Cardell, just to kind of close it out, I knew he was in trouble and going down a really bad place when all of a sudden the two-way player thing popped up.
Why is that a distinction for a sport that requires you to play offense and defense?
When the two-way thing
everybody
up,
should be a two-way player.
I know where we were going. So
that's because of media who don't know nothing about basketball. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's messing up the game. It's a lot of suits involved with basketball who's catering to one side of the ball. Why you think they eliminated the rules where you can't really get up in somebody without it being a real foul and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all predicated on appeasing the fans. My thing is, we always hearing things are more evolved and more skilled. Well, then let dudes be able to strap. Let dudes be able to play defense for real. We'll see. Because I know in that All-Star game last year, when dudes really got up in, a lot of dudes wasn't looking the same. When the playoffs come, a lot of dudes don't look the same. So when they let you play and let you strap for real, so it matters, man. The Lakers won the championship. It wasn't because they were so potent offensively. They strapped. If you know LeBron, if you got past them, they had Dwight JaVale back there waiting on you. So it's like that. I mean, bro, like it's disgusting, man. It's like y'all, man. Look at it, man.
It is, and I wish I'm gonna try to find a clip, but Alicia Clark and Coach Tebow were talking yesterday about teams, the disconnect between media and teams having an appreciation for good defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's too many media people that don't know shit about basketball. They're writers, they're reporters. They don't even know what they're looking at. Why you think the first thing if I hear a report, first thing he bring up is some damn numbers, analytics, and stuff like that. I already know what I'm dealing with. Because you should be able to look at the game and tell me, like, if you're going to write an article or take a stance or something, look at the game and give me something that really happened on the floor before you bring up some numbers. You see what I'm saying? Offensive rating and pace of the game. Look, I don't want to hear that. Give me something that mattered, basketball terminology. Give me something where you can look at the game and it's clear that you know what you're looking at. And you're not barking out numbers because you don't have a clue what you're looking at. I don't even need to look at numbers for the Wizards. I can look on the floor, see they ain't playing no damn defense because guys are wide open shooting jumpers. And they're not even trying to. It's looking like, remember, I hate to keep bringing, I know that's your man from UConn.
No,
it's looking like Kemba when Steph shot that three, and that man was like, where the hell at? Then the next time Steph got wide open, and he ain't even run out there because he knew it was a bucket. I ain't even gonna waste my. But they look like that every game, all game.
But you know what the sad part is? Like, I'm not even mad about that because there was at least an attempt, a legit effort, and that's why he was upset.
Yeah,
they're not even giving that initial effort.
And this is why when they be like, well, you know, Scott Brooks this and Scott Brooks that. I'm like, man, I ain't need a coach to tell me how to play defense, man. Like, it's clear this dude's cooking me, man. Like, all right, look, gonna turn that water off, dog. He's cooking me. Damn, I'm like, if I need a coach to tell me to play defense because this dude cooking me, I should be on the floor.
Plain and simple. Plain
Again,
and simple, man.
again, the bar I will use forever. If James Harden can choose to do it, why can't you? This
Bro,
is
they're not gonna stress me out. We dealing with
Oh.
we dealing with COVID. We dealing with all types of stuff, dog.
That's
You ain't
not
getting
stress.
us.
But and like that's a sad thing. I'm in a place where I don't care. I don't care what wonderful numbers happen on offensive end. I am so it just doesn't matter. If you're giving up, if you outscore your dude by 5 and you had 40, I mean, or if there's 4 of you guys that get double digits and 7 of their guys that get it, doesn't really matter too much at the end. So again, like we've been saying, and we'll be back here tomorrow night because you're gonna be dealing with Miami tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes.
Jimmy back.
Jimmy's back. Bam doesn't appear to be the same exact Bam from last year. The midi is a huge part of his game now. And Miami's just Miami. They're annoying. They're gonna play defense. We'll see how it goes, man. But again, like this is another one of them nights where you work so hard and you go down by 18 on a regular basis. Play defense long enough to make it a single digit game and then be like, we're good now. We got back into it. What? You play defense for like 5 minutes. Why? What if another 5 minutes of it consecutively together? What would happen? Who knows? But what I do know is we thank you guys for joining us this evening. See you guys tomorrow night when the Wizards take on Miami. They got one of those baseball series this week where you got Miami on Wednesday, then you got them again on Friday. And we'll see you guys on both days. You guys have a great evening.